Hello, everybody. Welcome to day one of the Build Your High Ticket Buyers List workshop. We are so excited to have you. For those of you who are not familiar with me, my name is Sydney Berletich, and I am the head coach here inside of Peak Sales Performance and inside of our program, the Sales Academy. So when you join us in there, you will see lots of me. I am always accompanying Anne on our coaching calls. And I am the one supporting you in our support community. Um, as you guys come in, please welcome yourself in the chat. Who are you? Where are you located? What do you do? Who do you help? Give us your little rundown. You never know who is in the room here with you. And then also let us know the number one thing you want to learn this week. We want this to be super personalized to those of you who are tuning in. So if you drop something that we didn't plan on covering, maybe we will add it. So either put that in the chat here on Zoom with us, or if you are watching the replay, just hit reply to this email and let us know. Who are you? Where are you located? Who do you help? And what do you want to learn this week? We are going to tailor this to who is here with us and who is engaged. So jump on that opportunity to get what you came here for. As you guys put that in the chat, Anna's going to hop in and get us kicked off for day one.
Yes. Hi, everybody. Welcome to day one. I'm super excited for those of you tuning in. Maybe you've attended one of our high performance sales workshops in the past. It's great to have you guys back here. We appreciate you guys spending this time with us and just continuing to support the mission here that we have. For those of you that are new here, welcome. We're really excited to learn more about your sales goals and see how we can support you. And we hope you get a ton from this workshop. If you guys do not know who I am, my name is Anne Strout. I'm a high ticket sales trainer and coach. I've actually been a high ticket seller for about 15 years prior to becoming a sales trainer and coach. I've worked with some of our top lead in 7 and 8 figure coaches as either their sales trainer or their high ticket seller over the last 25 years. My specialty and expertise is kind of boring. It's a little bit of brain science. It's a little bit of sales psychology, and I love a little bit of data. So we, inside Sales Academy, focus a lot on numbers and science to really drive sales growth. And that is kind of our foundation to all things high ticket selling. Super excited today. We're going to be talking about and diving into building your high ticket buyers list. And I have to say that the buyers list is probably the biggest piece of sales real estate that you could ever have in your business, probably the number one asset that you guys could have in your business. I think it is kind of new to most people. Most people either don't know what it is or they've heard of it, but they don't have one. Some people, maybe you have one or you have something that you think might be like a buyer's list, but we don't know how to work it. So over these 3 days together, we're not just going to show you how to build your buyer's list, but we're going to talk about how do you work it, how do you convert it, how do we really drive sales growth in just a few hours a day with high touch, very human behavior type actions and word tracks. And we're going to share with you guys how we are doing this with our clients inside of the Sales Academy that is producing phenomenal results for our clients. So this entire workshop is hosted by Sales Academy, which is our the number one lead in and only high ticket sales training specifically and coaching mentorship business program that we have. And we're really excited to share what we are doing inside there that's helping our clients have phenomenal sales results. So first thing I want to do and kind of kick things off with is a little bit of honesty. So if you guys know me, I'm pretty straightforward shooter. I tell it like it is. I want to be totally honest with you. I don't sugarcoat anything. I think that's out of integrity, and I want to make sure that we are bringing to you guys the reality of the market today, the reality of what it does look like and what it takes to sell consistently in this market that we are in right now. And so there was a time, probably back in like 2020 through 2023, towards the end of 2023, we started to see a massive shift in the market when it came to sales. High ticket, low ticket, just sales in general. The market had a massive shift around the end of 2023. And prior to that, sales, I think for most people, was probably easy. I think we had it pretty easy back then where you could create content and you would get sales, right? You'd get new clients, conversions, sales from just posting content. Back then it was a game of who could post the most content, right? Who could be most visible, who could go viral, right? Like back in 2020 through 2023, everybody was trying to create content that went viral, and everyone really associated sales and success with going viral, right? Like if you could get a post that would go out and it would just blow up, you were successful, you had sales, you got new clients, like you were really, like you were doing it, right? And I think that that's something that used to be a really big sales strategy, was creating a lot of content in a lot of places. Back then, buyers moved really loud and fast. Buyers were in a super reactive state, so they just really needed to see enough of your content, feel good enough or excited enough about what you were selling, and boom, they'd pull out a credit card, they'd pay you, they'd join your courses, join your programs. People tended to buy out of reactive mode, meaning you were excited, so they got really excited, or you put a deadline, or you put like a limiter, like a bonus that was going to disappear, or some kind of urgency, and people would buy from that. People were like, oh my God, I have to figure it out and get in because it's going away, or there's only 5 spots, or this bonus is disappearing. And that was, people were in a very state, like a very reactive state back then. And so you could show up and sell in that way, and it would generate sales. You could post, you could launch. Everybody was live launching to death back in 2020 through 2023. Even we were doing launches every 6 to 8 weeks, and we would run those for anywhere from 7 to 10 days live behind the video like this, with just like constant content, right? Just teaching, talking about different topics, just information. And people were buying information back then. So if you showed up and was going to give them 10 days of free, amazing content and value and information, they were all over it. And you could get a ton of sales from doing that. And people would move, they'd get over the finish line easily. And so it made sense that a lot of people were like, I just got to create a lot of content, get it in a lot of places, go viral, and I just need a lot of people to see my stuff. And back then, that worked until it no longer worked, which is about the end of 2023 to date, right? Today's buyers are much more quiet. So it might feel like people aren't showing up, people aren't engaging, people are not interacting. It feels like people are just very quiet, right? And so the thing that has changed in the market is people are still buying, people are still investing, but they are quiet about it. They are watching more than they're engaging, right? They are definitely more skeptical than they've ever been before, right? Most of the people in the market are super smart and savvy. They're very, very sophisticated because they've made investments, they've worked with people, they've spent money, they've spent time, they've been burnt, all of the things, right? And so now they're skeptical, they're slower to move, they're slower to make the decision, right? And they're skeptical that maybe you might spam them, or it could be a scam, or they're going to invest and not get the result. There's a lot of that right now. So people are not just pulling out cards because you have a launch. People aren't just pulling out the credit card because you're excited about your brand new offer. People are not just buying because you show up and post a lot of content and you're in a lot of places, or because you're pouring information all the time, or they're not even buying because you're promoting your features, your bonuses, your discounts, or because you're incentivizing them. People are buying when they have certain things that click, and they're not going to buy until that point. And all the things that I just mentioned in between no longer trigger a buyer. Those things don't trigger buyers anymore. And that's because people buy differently in this market, right? So if your sales process, if the way that you're showing up and you're serving and solving problems and selling, if you're still doing that and it is tied to like going viral, visibility, more content, I hope and I wish someone saw something I did today, and it's going to do it, or I hope I worked enough hours this week, or I hope I posted enough content in enough places today, I hope I said the right thing. If you're doing all of that, you're going to work really hard this year. You're going to work really, really, really hard to get very, very little sales results out of that, because it's not how people are buying anymore. I think this is the most important thing for entrepreneurs to understand, is that the way, not just that people are buying differently, but how are they buying? Because that's how you're going to shift and make pivot and adjustments in the way that you guys are showing up and selling. So if you're joining us live, drop in the chat, what is one big change that you have noticed inside of your market, like your niche, that has had an impact on the speed and frequency of your sales? If you're here live, we'd love to hear a little bit more about what you're seeing in the market, how that's impacting your sales specifically, either the speed of them, so how quickly they happen or don't, or how the frequency of them, how often or not are they happening. Love to hear from you guys. So this is why the buyers list is not any longer it's nice to have, right? It is the new sales strategy. It is the new sales strategy. The new sales is a buyers list. In this market, we can't afford to go far and wide across social media and just try to be viral and just try to post more content than anybody else or be in more places or just fuel information. In this market, the buyers list is the sales strategy. It is going to be your most important, most profitable sales asset that you're going to have in your business. And it's what puts you back in control of your sales, right? This is how we're going to flip your sales process from being in that reactive state and being more in a reliable, repeatable state when it comes to your sales. The top things that we're seeing where most people are still, like, they still got this wrong. They're still doing this part wrong, and it's impacting their sales. It's creating a slower, lower sales process for them. And obviously much harder, right? Is they're still relying on the content all by itself to generate sales. We still see entrepreneurs selling offers and not solutions. Many times when we see emails or content in our newsfeed or even DMs, oftentimes it's a pitch. It's talking about what you do in your offer and what you're helping your clients do, and it's not presenting a solution. People aren't buying offers today. They're buying solutions to problems they want to solve, right? They're buying solutions to problems they want to solve. So selling your offer is not the way in 2025. We still see people falling back on this heavy fake, I call it fake urgency of like discounting and bonuses and features. Let's be real. We all run businesses. We are all on here to get clients, to serve people, to make an impact, to make money. And so it's kind of fake urgency to say, I'm going to discount it, but you only have this much time, or it's only for this one time, when we know you're going to discount it in your next workshop. Or if someone got in a DM with you, you discount it. Like, of course you're going to do those things again. And we do, right? We do them every time we launch, or every time we promote, or every time we sell, we offer something, a bonus, a discount, or something. We still see people trying to lead with the fake urgency of like, discount only for 3 days. The price is going to go up. Bonuses are going to disappear. Look at all the features and downloads you're going to get, and look at all my modules. Like, everyone is still really riding that train, and nobody is buying into that in this market. They haven't been for 2 years now. We still see people pitching instead of priming and prepping buyers to buy. A big part of what we teach inside Sales Academy, which is the human behavior, brain science, sales psychology, is really working with how people buy versus working against how people buy. And when you are pitching people, there's a lot of objections and sales resistance that's going to come up with that. What we want to do is shift into priming and prepping people. And what I mean by that is nurturing and empowering people to want to make a buy-in decision. That's totally different than pitching people and then trying to create some fake urgency to back it up. People don't buy from logic, you guys, right? So they buy from emotion first. So when you're priming and prepping people, you want to empower them to become buyer ready, like excited to buy, not fearful, not like, oh my God, I have to do it fast or it's going to go away. Like, all of those things are not what is creating buyers in this market. And we won't even talk about how people's accounts are getting shut down like crazy on social media, right? We've been shut down once last year and we had to create new accounts. And then this year we got shut down permanently. Not one account, all 5 that we had. All 5 accounts that we had got shut down. Some of them we hadn't been on for 15 years. They were just accounts we had from literally 15 years ago. We hadn't posted, we hadn't done anything on it. They shut it down. So we got banned permanently from Facebook. All of our accounts. We tried to create new accounts, banned within 5 minutes. And so we shifted off Facebook over to LinkedIn. Should have done that 15 years ago. Best decision ever made. However, we have clients that are constantly hopping into Boxer with me or getting on the calls or reaching out to Cindy, and they're like, what do I do? Because my Facebook got shut down. I woke up and it was just, I can't access it and I'm banned. This happens all the time. It happens to my 7 and 8 figure clients, my mentors, people I'm working with, accounts left and right. When you have a buyer's list, you own that list. You own it. Nobody can take it away from you. If your Facebook or your LinkedIn or your Instagram or whatever you're using got shut down, went away, disappeared, you have your list of people, the data you've collected from them, the conversations you guys have had, everything you need to know about them in terms of their buyer readiness, all of the information in their contact information, phone numbers, addresses, all the different things. You have all of that, right? So you're not social media dependent. You're not platform specific, right? In Sales Academy, we don't care what platform you use because the things that we're teaching you to generate sales, there's only a piece of that coming from social media. We're using social media as lead generation, but we're pulling people off platforms onto the buyer's list, and we're working, nurturing, and converting people from there. We're building the trust, we're building the relationship, and we're collecting the data and information, but we're building also the trust. So if something happens on one of your accounts, your people they're going to be reaching out. I can't find you. Where are you? That's exactly what happened to us. We had people emailing like crazy, texting us and sending us private DMs on LinkedIn. Like, where are you? Did you ban me on Facebook? I can't find you. I can't find any of your posts. I can't find your stuff. Like, I want to make sure we're connected, what's going on. And we had people freaking out. And we were like, no worries. Here's what happened. And here's where you can find us. Everyone followed us to LinkedIn. And we had people that said, Ann, I don't use LinkedIn, but I created an account today so I can stay in touch with you, see your content, and know what you're doing, right? And so when you build a buyer's list and then you build the relationships with those people, they follow you everywhere you go. And we want to pull people off the social platform into the buyer's list because you can't go far and wide. The things that we teach in Sales Academy for how do you nurture, convert these people, you can't do it far and wide with hundreds or thousands of people that you're just connected with randomly on platforms. They need to be pulled into a buyer's list and worked very strategically and intentionally, one by one by one. And there are specific things that need to happen to empower that buying decision, to get your leads over the finish line faster. In this market right now, if you're just pulling cold leads off social media and you're trying to convert them, you're looking at a 4 to 6 month timeline. 4 to 6 months on average across every niche. Or you're looking at 8 to 10 hours of top of mind content before that cold lead is going to buy from you. So 99% of entrepreneurs are selling to cold, unqualified leads every day because they don't know how to nurture them. They don't know how to build the trust. They don't know how to move the lead, how to empower them to be decision ready. And so all they're doing is talking about their offer, selling this, selling that, pitching this, my next best offer. That's all that's happening, or just feeding information that you don't even know if they want, right? And so what's happening is you're losing money and you're leaving money on the table with the audience that is in front of you right now that you've worked hard to build. This is why we got to build a buyer's list. Okay, so hopefully that makes it clear of the importance of the buyer's list, right? So the buyer's list is not your email list. We've had people ask us this, like, what is a buyer's list? Do we buy it? You're not buying a list of leads. We don't do that. You build it. That's why we say build your list, not buy your buyer's list, build your buyer's list. You're going to build your buyer's list. It's not your email list. A buyer's list is not your social media. A buyer's list is not your Facebook group. We have people that will come to us and they're like, oh, I have a buyer's list. I have emails. Or I have a buyer's list. I have 5,000 people on my Facebook page. Or I have a buyer's list. I have 10,000 people in the Facebook group. not a buyer's list, guys. That is not a buyer's list. That's your social media. That's your followers. Those are your leads. A buyer's list is a curated, I like to say a cherry picked. You've hand selected, very strategically, a behavior-based list of people that are showing you in some shape or form or fashion that they are on the edge of a decision, meaning that they are a potential buyer, potential prospect, but they need something from you that's going to push them over the edge of making a yes or no decision. It is a very curated, cherry-picked, selected, hand-picked list of people that you said, I am making a commitment every single day, every week. I am gonna work these lists, these people. I'm gonna nurture them, build trust with them, build a relationship with them. I'm gonna do whatever I have to do to get this group of people in my programs. I want to work with these people and I will stop at nothing. Right? And you're going to build that list of people. Now we have our Sales Academy clients start with 100 people. Every single person can get 100 people off their social media, put these people on the buyer's list, follow our system, and work, convert, and close those lists of people, right? And so in Sales Academy, we have all of our clients start with about 100 people on the buyer's list, and then we move you up toward 1,000. So we'll add about 100 every week or so until you have 1,000 people on a buyer's list. But we start at around 100, okay? And you can do that real fast, okay? So the buyer's list is that curated list of people that are showing you that there's some actual buy-in behavior, or maybe you see them as someone that you're like, this looks like a really good lead, and I need to find out, I got to qualify them. I need to talk. I got to get proximity. I want to learn if this person is a buyer, right? So it could be someone that you've got your eyes on and you want to explore if this is a potential buyer. And you're looking at people, that are telling you that they're at some level of buyer awareness, meaning they are aware they have a problem, looking for a solution. So maybe they're opting into things, maybe they're registering for things, maybe they're active in your group, maybe you've talked to them before, maybe they were a referral, maybe they are someone who is sending you messages in the DM so that you're talking, maybe they're just highly engaged in your content. In any sense, you're pulling those people from the internet to this list so you can work and convert them. And you're not going to be able to strategically do that within a few hours a day if you're trying to run across 5 different platforms with thousands upon thousands of people, and you're just like, I don't know, who's a potential buyer? Let me see, right? Inside Sales Academy, that's what we do. We plug every one of our clients plugs into our frameworks for how to work and convert the leads on that buyer's list every single day. But it's ethical. It's got to be in alignment for you. And we have proven word track, and we have a proven system for that. Because building the buyer's list, which we'll talk about tomorrow, because building the buyer's list is only one step. Tomorrow, we're going to show you how to work it. So what do you do with the leads once you get them on the list? Today, I want you to understand the importance of getting off social media and building a buyer's list, putting yourself back in the driver's seat and full control of your sales and not be dependent on platform specificity. You got to get your people off, cherry pick your people, put them on that buyer's list, and then learn how to work and convert them like this, right? It's exactly how our clients tap into $10, $25, and even $42,000 in 4 weeks or less by cherry picking the people and then following our framework to work and convert them. But what were they doing before that? Before, posting tons of content, feeding information, promoting discounts, promoting bonuses, trying to be viral, going on every platform, chasing leads around, begging, negotiating, dropping and lowering their prices, creating new offers every week. And they weren't getting sales. So when they came to us and they told us that, and we shared how we're going to help them change that, they came in our programs. They didn't have to have new leads. They didn't add leads. They didn't change their offer. They didn't have to set up a funnel. They didn't need a sales page. They didn't have to do sales calls. They didn't have to do any of that. We plugged them into our framework and they closed 10, 25, and even 42,000 in 4 weeks or less with what they already had in front of them. Because you guys don't need more stuff. In fact, you probably need less. It's about knowing what leads are potential buyers and then knowing how to work them, knowing how to get their trust really fast, knowing how to nurture them, knowing how to build the relationship, but empowering them every step of the way to become buyer ready to the point where they're like, please take my credit card. I love what you're doing. It's exactly what I want. I'm in. Where do I sign up? You have to know how to talk to people today in this buying market, because all of the stuff we talked about a few minutes ago is not working in today's market. That worked from 2020 to 2023. And around the end of 2023, all of that stopped working and everyone has had to shift. Okay. Okay, can you close sales without a buyer's list is something people ask us. Yeah, you could do what you're doing right now. Whatever you're doing right now to close sales, you can keep doing that. That's how you can do it without a buyer's list, right? No client has a buyer's list when they come to us and they're doing a lot of things. They're pretty exhausted, they're pretty overwhelmed. They definitely have a feeling of like reactive mode and chasing and like wondering when, where, how is my next sale coming? There's a lot of that energy right now. So yes, you can keep doing what you're doing right now today. Whatever you've done to this point, of course you could just keep doing that, right? Or you can build the buyer's list and you can close way more sales, higher quality, way faster with far less effort, right? In this buy-in market, I want you guys to be thinking about what really gets somebody on their own without fake urgency, without pressure, without manipulation and persuasion and discounting, without all that stuff. What gets a human to say 1 second, 1 minute, let me grab my credit card because this is freaking phenomenal. This is amazing. This is what I've been looking for. I need this. Please let me in. Let me grab my credit card. I'm in. What actually creates that? And I'm going to tell you a few things right now that have to happen for your audience to do that, about for them to think and react that way to you. Because let me be honest, your audience is buying. They're investing, they're spending money, and they're looking for solutions. The question is, are they looking at you for those things? They're going to spend money, but are they going to spend it with you or someone else? That's the real question. So what do you need to do? I'll tell you what you need to do. First and foremost, you have to look like a trusted expert. So you need to look like a professional, an expert at what you do. So you can't be inconsistent. You can't be wishy-washy. You can't be emotionally attached. You can't come off in your energy or your content desperate. You can't focus, hyper-focus on discounts, bonuses, features, fake urgency, incentivizing all the time. The biggest incentive your audience is going to have to give you their credit card is this. They want to solve their problem. That is the urgency. People ask me all the time, Ann, how do you create urgency? How do I get my leads urgent? You don't. The urgency is that they want to solve their problem and they believe you can help them do that. That is the new sales. That's the urgency. People are not buying discounts. People are not high-level leads. They're not looking for a discount. They're not looking for you to tell them, you better buy now because this is going up or it's going away in 5 days. You only have 5 days. Half of that is a lie because you'll probably do this again. Or if someone came in your DM in a week from now, you'd be like, sure, I'll give you the discount. I do it all the time. I've worked with 8-figure companies and behind the scenes, they do that. Like, it's just not it's not ethical. And people, I told you at the beginning of this call, people have never been as sophisticated and smart as they are today. You can't pull anything over people today. They can read everything you're saying and they get it. Like they can see right through that. And people don't like the feeling of pressure sales, where it's like you got to do it, it's going away, the price is going up, like you only have 5 minutes left, you better do it now. Like nobody likes that, and people are not buying from that way. Yeah, like Tanya said, authenticity, 100%. You have to have integrity. You have to have strong ethics in sales today, because people are so smart. People are smart because they've been screwed over. The last few years, when everybody piled online, you had people that have never been a coach before. They were selling $5, $10, $20,000 coaching programs, claiming to be coaches. You had people selling services and products who had no business doing that. And people were spending all that money and not getting results. People are smart today. They know, and they're searching and they're scanning, quietly watching, they're comparing, they're looking at your stuff. They are very skeptical. And that's why it feels like it takes so long for someone to buy. It's not because they're broke. It's not because they're not buying. It's not you. It's that they need to feel like you have the solution I'm looking for right now. I believe you can help me. If you don't create that atmosphere and that energy, if you don't have that energy exchange with the people that you're selling to, they're not going to buy. It's going to take them forever to buy from you, right? And they probably won't. So you got to look like a trusted expert who is like, I want you to think of like Tony Robbins. Like, he's rock solid. He's so consistent. He's a trusted expert at what he does. Right? You could think of people that you follow in the market, right? That you're just like, they're so solid, right? Those are people that are getting money today because people want to get results. And so they're going to invest with people that they believe they're going to get results with. They're not going to give their money to someone that they're like, I don't know you. I don't like you. I don't trust you. I don't even understand how you're helping me. What exactly am I buying? Wait, what do you do? Hold on a second. Let me go look, because last week you were promoting this and now this week it's that. Wait, what? I don't understand. I'm so confused. A confused mind doesn't buy, right? The people today in this market, they're not buying hype and smoke and mirrors. They're really buying solutions, and they're going to buy them from people that look like the top dog in that niche. Like, you are top dog, go to, the best in the market. I'm going to you. And you don't have to go viral. That doesn't even matter. It isn't about the number of followers you have. None of that matters. You build that energy with each of the people on your buyers list. They will think that of you and believe that of you when you build a relationship with them. That's all you have to do. You don't need more content. You don't need better viral images and canvas and paid ads and sales page. You don't need any of that stuff. None of it. We don't have any of it. We have a buyer's list, and we intentionally, with good ethics, we build a relationship with every human, by the way. These are humans, not leads, with every human on that buyer's list every single day. And those people love us. They like us. They trust us. They believe in us. They support our mission, and they all want to work with us. So it's not a matter, your buyer's list is not a matter of if these people are going to buy from you. It's when they're going to buy from you, because they will buy from you when they're ready, because you're nurturing that relationship. You're holding that space for them. When they're ready, they're coming to you. You're the first person they're going to think about. And if they have someone in their network that needs what you offer, you're the first person they're going to say, oh, I know who you need to go to. We have people that will refer people, and they've never worked with us directly, but they're sending us referrals because they watch everything, they binge everything. We built that relationship and trust, and without even working with us, they know we are the best at what we do. We are the top high ticket selling company that exists. Nobody does sales the way we do. No one has a training program like we do on sales. No one teaches it, does it, lives it, eats it, breathes it, or believes in it the way that I do. The way that I think about sales and the way that I do them, it's unparalleled. And when I build a relationship with the people on my buyers list, they buy into that and they believe that too. That empowers that buy-in decision I told you about. You don't even have to sell. You have people on your buyers list being like, how the hell do I sign up for this program? And you're like, oh, let's talk about it, right? You don't even have to do all this other stuff. And you got to focus on the solution, not your offer. Don't even talk about your offer. Don't even talk about, we have people that will join Sales Academy and they're like, okay, now what happens? What do I get? They don't even know. They don't even know what the heck they're, all they know is they just made a decision to get help, to speed up their sales process, to make more money in a more ethical, faster, easier, more scalable way. And they're so excited to learn how to do that. That's what they buy. So you have to show them not just the solution, but paint the picture, show them the path. So this is what it looks like when we partner together, because it is a partnership. This is what it looks like. We do A, B, C, and that ABC produces XYZ for you. So these things are going to give you these outcomes that you want. That's what we do with you. And you can be so simple like that, and they'll buy. They don't need, well, let me go over my modules. Let me talk about all the features. We also have 80 bonus sections. You're going to get 9,000 downloads. They don't need all that. Sell them the solution they're looking for. Solve their problem. If you're not talking to your people, you don't know what their problem is. You're guessing, right? Can we raise our hands? I did that for years. I guessed. I assume your problem is this. I assume you have the problem I solve. And I created around that, and it wasn't really what people wanted to solve. It wasn't their problem. In order to know what their problem is in their words, you have to talk to them. That's where the buyers list comes in, right? You've got to build that relationship and have that proximity with them, or they're just not going to buy. I just want to bring it home, guys. Content by itself is not going to produce sales in this market. And content is marketing. That is not a sales activity. Just say it. If you're focusing on content, even this workshop right here is not a sales activity. This isn't, I could go do another thing. I could go do one or two other things in the hour that I'm here with you guys each day this week for 3 days, right? I could take that 3 hours this week and go do one other activity that is a sales activity and produce way more sales than what I will right here over 3 days. Because this isn't a sales activity. You don't do this and dollar cents hits the bank. This is a different type of strategy. And I think a lot of people are focused on content and marketing and visibility and business stuff. And sales is at like the bottom. It's like, oh, I'm at the end of my day and I have nothing left to give. And we never get to the sales. In Sales Academy, sales comes first. And we get you in action, right? Okay, so your buyers list is going to allow you to identify the people that are already in your audience, okay? People that are already in your audience watching you. Remember what we said earlier. 97% of your audience is watching you. They're not talking, they're not responsive, they're not engaging, you don't have proximity, they don't seem to be buyers. But that's because your highest level leads are not going to talk to you until they're ready to buy. We have clients that will say, Ann, these sales came out of the woodwork. Like, I don't even know where this person came from. They landed in my box and paid me in full and joined me. And I'm like, no, sales is not by chance. Sales is not luck. Those are leads that have been sitting in your audience watching you. And when you said what they needed to hear, they were ready to buy. That is today's market. Most of your buyers are not sitting in DMs chit-chatting all day. They're not. One, they're busy. And two, they're not going to give you time and energy. And they're not going to prioritize you until they're ready to buy from you. Then you're going to get their attention. And when you do, they won't have objections. They won't have resistance. They won't have uncertainty. They won't have skepticism. They're going to have a couple questions and be ready to go with credit card in hand. And you can't create that with your leads across social media. You've got to build the buyers list, and then you can track every person on that buyers list. Where is this person in my buy-in cycle? How far out are they from buy-in? How close are they to buy-in? How close do we have them to the buy-in decision? And if we don't, what needs to happen to get them there? You need to be able to do that. You need to be able to wake up every day and say that and ask yourself that about each one of your leads so that you can predict your sales. You can see your future sales. You know where all of your leads and sales are coming from instead of waking up, opening up social media, and then for hours sitting there asking yourself, am I going to get a sale today? Who, where, what, how am I going to do it? The buyers list solves all of that. So here's how you structure this, and you guys can all do this today. Like right now, you could do it. You can pull out a piece of paper or a spreadsheet. You could do this right now today. Okay, it's really simple. You don't need to make it any more complicated. Your buyers list information or data is going to have the person's name, because you got to put a face to the name. It's going to have their name, the source. So where did they come from? Is this a Facebook lead? Is this an email subscriber? Is this a Instagram or LinkedIn? Who is this person? Where did you find them? How are you two connected? You want to know where your leads are coming from, because we like to look and be like, where do most of our buyers come from? Why? Because you can double down your efforts in that place and you can get rid of the stuff that's not really bringing those sales in, right? We can look, we know where all of our sales come from. And we know not just where, but what strategy we use that gets those sales. So we can trim all the fat, get rid of all the other stuff that's busy work. It's dreamy, fun, sexy stuff, but it isn't producing sales. And we can just double down on the things that are producing sales. When you do ABC, XYZ happens. That's the mentality. So where are you connected with this lead? Where they come from? Status of the lead. In Sales Academy, we have 3. It's hot, warm, cold. Is this a hot lead, a warm lead, or a cold lead? And then you want to have, what was your last touch point? And what is your next one? What I mean by that is, what did we do last with this person? And what needs to happen next? And that has to align with the buy-in decision. Every touch point, every action, every interaction with every person on that list needs to be intentional. I'm doing this to move them to the next stage. There are stages in the buy-in process that each lead has to go through. And with each stage, the touch point looks different, because each stage they move through, they're progressing in that buyer readiness. They're progressing. And so your touch points look different. The frequency looks different, right? All of that looks different because they're progressing in the buyer decision process. If you can't track that with a lead, I promise you've lost sales. You probably have leads that have been referred to you, that have said, next year I'll do that. 6 months I can do it. I can't do it today, but I can then. That have been interested, that have raised their hand. They've shown you interest. And they probably slipped through the cracks. Why? Because you cannot track and manage all of your social media connections. It's not, no one can do it. It's not possible. You need to have a buyers list where when you see people showing you that, pull them off social media and put them on the buyers list. Pull them off your email and put them in your buyers list, right? And you're actively growing, working, and converting that buyers list every day, not social media. Do you know what I do when I wake up in the morning? I open my buyers list. I don't even open social media. When I first start my workday, buyers list. And I work from my hottest to my coldest. I don't even open social media. That's not even the first thing I do because it's not a sales activity. Okay. For storing these leads, we use GroupTrack. We have a link if anyone wants it to sign up for a trial on that. Clients use GroupTrack or Trello or a spreadsheet. Whatever works for your brain. Don't let tech slow you down. Just pick a spreadsheet if you have to and start there. It has to be something you are going to use every day, right? It's not about what we use. It's about what will you use every day? What will work for your brain to get up every day, open up that list and work each one of those leads. That's really going to be the key. And then start and end your day with the buyers list, not social media, not your new friend requests, your buyers list. So what I want for all of you guys is to drop in the chat just one place right now that you're thinking as we're talking about this. Where do you think there's one place that you could go that you could snatch or scoop up 5 to 10 people that you feel are watching your stuff? Maybe they're engaging, maybe they're showing you some buying signals or interest that you could add to a buyer's list right now today. Where's one place you can maybe find 5 or 10 people within your network that are showing you some of those things that you could take them off social media and put them on that buyer's list? And then Tanya, same for me. Tanya said LinkedIn. Me too. Me too, because that's where we are. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is I want you to go get those 5 or 10 people today, and I want you to add them to whatever you're going to use for your buyers list, spreadsheet, Word doc, whatever. I want you to add them. And by today, end of today, you're going to have 5 or 10 people on your first buyers list. It's how we start with all of our clients. And they're like, oh my God, I got 10 people. I'm so excited. Or some are like, oh my God, I found 20. Great. Get 5 or 10 people, right? The rest of this week, starting tomorrow, I'm going to show you what to do with those people. Just go get 5 or 10 people. If you can find more, even better. But just start with 5 or 10, right? We'll show you this week what to do with those people, right? And then Sydney, do you want to draw some examples of business to business or business to consumer? Like the first message that you guys could send to somebody to get them to interact so you can put them on your buyers list. You could definitely just do that. That's awesome. Tanya said, would you consider income producing activities the same as sales producing? Yes and no. I think that when I think about a sales producing activity, I think about $1.01 hitting my bank today. When I think about income, I think of more like recurring or could be a long term. Like if we do a workshop like this or something, this might produce income over time for us. Or you know, we'll get sales too. But I look at sales as same day. Same day. Like if I do this action, it makes a sale today. Right? That's how I look at that. Because a lot of people are doing a lot of great activities, but they're like long-term activities. They're going to create sales or income for you, but down the road or over time. And what most of our clients want is same-day sales. Like they want to do something today and they get a sale today. So that's what we really like to think about. Okay, I want to share real quick. I want to share my screen with you guys, just really quick. I do want to share, and then Sydney's going to chime in too. I want to share our Sales Academy program. I've mentioned it a few times here, but we are open for enrollment. And I just want to share really quick the difference in Sales Academy versus other programs. The first thing that makes Sales Academy so different, guys, it's not a business program. I think that one of the big things is everyone's investing in business coaching, business training, business. But a business doesn't come before sales. In order for a business to be a business, like if you think about brick and mortar or your hair salon down the street, right, or grocery store, in order for a business to legit be a business, there has to be profit. It has to make money. There has to be profit, customers, right? When I think about an online business, it's the same thing. It's always sales first. I'd like my clients to get to a good 300 to 500,000 a year consistently. And then I'm like, girl, you got a business. This is legit a business, because after you pay your taxes and after you pay your personal expenses and your business, you might have in a savings or put your kids through whatever, you might have a little bit to hire some team and set up some systems that are going to take you from 500 to 1 million, right? Like at that point, it's like, okay, we have a business. The problem is most programs out there teach business or they teach marketing, which is create your programs, set up funnels, build a sales page, make sure you have a back end this and a back end that, build a website, get photo shoots, all this business stuff, and there's no sales. So I have people that come in Sales Academy. Cindy and I see it every day, and I spent countless thousands of dollars. I have a photo shoot, I have a website, I have a sales page, I have an email list even, I have funnels, I've got automation, I have a low ticket offer, I have all this stuff. I'm not closing sales. And if I am, it's hard and it takes a long time and it's not consistent and I'm not scaling, right? And we see this every single day. And it's not because you're not capable or you don't even, almost 99% of our clients have what they need to be doing 10, 20 to 50K months with what is sitting right in front of them right now without all that other stuff. But the thing is, they don't know how to sell. They don't know how to sell in this market. They don't have the sales training, right? They have the business acumen, but they don't have the sales skill. So in Sales Academy, we don't focus on business acumen. We focus on sales skill and sales strategy. We'll build the business later. Get to that 300 to 500K. Let's just get there. Let's do that, and let's do it in a way that's ethical. Let's do it in a way that people are so happy to pay you. Let's do it in a way that you feel like this is aligned, right? And let's do it in a way that is manageable and scalable while you can have a life also, right? Clients ask me, and I don't get it. You work a few hours a day. You have a small but mighty 3-person team. You do multi-millions. You've been for years. You take CEO week off every month, an entire week every month. You never work weekends. I don't understand how you're doing that. And I say it and I say it and I say it. I don't focus on business acumen. I build a buyer's list and I master how to work it and convert it in record-breaking time. And I focus on mastering my craft. I've been doing high-ticket selling for 25 years in my company and in multi-million-dollar companies for all this time. And I'm still mastering my craft. Meaning I want to get better and better at what I bring to my clients, how I help you guys do this, instead of let me build a fancy website, let me automate, let me set up a funnel, let me learn all this other stuff. That's not where my energy pours. And that's why I'm able to have the life and the business that just fills my cup. And that's what we want for you guys. So Sales Academy is not like these other programs. Also, it's not a course. It's a live, hands-on, personalized program. I have invested so much money in 10, 20K, 30K masterminds where I'm like, who is the coach here? Where do I ask a question? I don't understand why I just invested $30,000 and I can't talk to a human and get an answer to this quick question so I can move at speed. And one of the things that I do for my clients is I invest a lot of money in the coaching programs and business programs that are being sold to them every day. And then I come back, I don't give names, but I come back and I report. Here's what I found, here's what I see, here's what's missing, and here's why we won't be doing that. And then my clients are like, God, thank you, because I almost did that. So I think that you have to really think about, what am I investing in that's driving sales growth? And who am I investing in who understands this market and understands how to help me create that sales growth in a way that feels good for me? And that is so much more important than how much is this course and what is the cheat sheet and the download I'm going to get with it and how long before I get results, right? Okay, so Sales Academy is none of that. It is specifically high ticket sales training and coaching. So we combine the two. We'll coach you, we'll guide you, we'll empower you like you'll never believe, and we'll also train you every step of the way. And you don't need to learn brain science, my 25-year background. You don't need to learn sales psychology. It's already infused in every word of my word track that I give you. Every swipe I give you, it's already infused in every single word. Every framework we teach you is designed for the buyer brain. That's my background. I know exactly how a buyer says yes or no. I know what parts of their brain I need to talk to that are firing off. I know exactly how to say what needs to be said and what order. And all of our stuff is already done for you. It's already set up. It's plug and play. Plug into it, add and infuse your own personal touch, execute. That is all you have to do. And that's what makes us so different. What you're gonna get if you join us, I do wanna say this is a partnership. This isn't me against you, you against me. This is us coming together, working toward the same goal, which is whatever sales goal you have, we are in it together. That means we need your participation. We need you to be fully committed to your goals because we are going to be fully committed to your goals. And so it is a partnership. So we have some really good things that are happening right now. For one, you're going to get a weekly live sales training and coaching call. That is with Sydney and I and the rest of the gang over in Sales Academy, the Sales Academy family. Every Monday we go live. We have a lesson. So like right now in Sales Academy this month, we are working on buyers list. Everyone just added 100 brand new leads to their buyers list just last week. And this week we're working those leads. People are closing sales already. They're already seeing stuff happen. They've already shaved hours off their social media scrolling. It's been phenomenal and we've just begun. So that is an example of how we focus. We have a theme each month and a topic each week that is moving you guys. Everything is focused on sales. We're never going to teach you anything that's not going to make you money. So that is always our intention. If it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense, right? Pretty sure that comes out of a song. If it doesn't make sense, I think it's a song. Anyway, I like it because that's my vibe. So we have a weekly call. And then we also have proven, I don't really call them scripts, but we call them word track. And word track is, if we're going to tell you, here's the other problem in this market. Everyone will tell you what you need to do, but nobody tells you how to freaking do it. So we give you an action and we give you a swipe. Here are variations of all the different ways that you could say that, or that you could ask that question, or that you could get their engagement, or you could get their response. All of our word track has about a 62 to 73% response rate. Phenomenal. Nobody has that in this market. We have a very high response rate from our messaging, and I know because it's backed by science. It's not theory. It's not like, oh, hey, I did this one time and it worked. No, this is backed by science. We give you all of that for anything we tell you to do. So we're never going to be like, go do this, and you're like, how? You'll never probably ask that. You might have some nuanced questions, but we'll always give you how. You get our full curriculum. And what did we release this? Yes, 2 days ago, 3 days ago. A few days ago, I just redid the entire curriculum to align with today's market, things we've changed based on the last year and a half of testing. It's a fresh, super simplified, brand new curriculum, all our frameworks. You're going to get that. We also are going to help you, again, create the buyers list and scale with it. I will say this, the system that we help you set up is super scalable, meaning that I'm never going to say, here's what I want you to do. And guess what? You're going to be doing it for the rest of your life. I'm always going to say, here's the thing. And by the way, look at it like this. Let's give that to someone later and get it off your plate. So Sydney started in my program. She did my community management. She did my sales. And now she's one of the head coaches in my program. So do I have to do everything all day, every day? No. I have a system and I have sales support. And that's what we help you guys do. We don't give you theory systems that you're tied to for the rest of your life. We have you build a system that you could get it working and then say, I'm going to hire someone to fully take it over. And that's how you get stuff off your plate. So you're CEO, not doer. You might be doer for a little bit because you got to set up the systems and get them working your way. But when you bring someone in and you're like, hey, follow the framework. Don't put your spin on it, follow it. It works. When you do ABC, it gives you XYZ. And when you build that, you know when you bring someone in, if they're following your framework, you know it works. You know exactly what to predict, right? This is how we help our clients. A lot of our clients have a seller or a setter, and we get them to the point where they're 2 to 4x in their compensation. Like you'll lose money if you lose them, versus it's an expense now on your P&L. Nobody wants that. Get your team producing sales. Every person on your team should contribute to sales growth. And we help all of your team members 2 to 4x because they should be doing sales activities. And understanding what those would look like for each position is something we help with. So anyway, that's another thing. But we don't want you down in the weeds of what we teach you initially forever. We want you to build it, delegate it, build it, automate it. So you do what you love and what you're best at. And you can't do that if you're doing all the down in the weeds type of stuff, right? We do have a bonus. We do this quite frequently in Sales Academy, I will say. We have a bonus coming up April 18th. Is it this Friday, Sydney? It is. Oh my gosh. Okay. It's this Friday. We are doing our most popular ever. We have a sales blitz that we do. And these are specific sales activities that we started 10 years ago. And when I was on welfare, single mom with 2 kids, and I only had 20-minute increments throughout the day, I didn't have a lot of time, but I needed to make sales. I was doing these activities, and I didn't know that then, but they were getting me clients, and I was making money in 20 minutes a day, 2-3 times a day. And between like all the kid stuff. Today, we call this our power hour. And what we do is we give you a specific action. It's a sales action. We'll say, hey, go do this. Here's the swipe. Send this to these people. Our clients do 25, 35, 45K. I had one client do 62K in 4 weeks or less. 85% of our clients generate tens of thousands of dollars in 4 weeks or less doing these activities right here. These are sales blitz campaigns. Well, we're doing it live. So the whole Sales Academy gang is going to get on Zoom on Friday, and we're going to spend 5 hours together. And Sydney and I are going to be giving you guys swipe copy, so word track, with an action, and everyone is just selling. We're selling for 5 hours. Everyone is going to walk away with sales, results, conversations on the calendar, people interested in your program. 5 hours, we're doing it live together. We've never had people leave this and not have sales and new clients. So this is happening on the 18th. If you join after that, you could get the replay, but you want to be in the room live. You want to be in the room live because you're going to make money, right? You'll probably make your investment back, if not way more. Okay. The investment is $5,000 for the whole year. I know that's a little wild. That's kind of stupid, but we'll raise the price eventually. But right now it's $5K for the entire year. So you get everything I just said, plus you're also going to get a 45-minute call with Sydney and I. It's private. It's just the 3 of us. It is a Sales Blitz onboarding call. So it's what we're going to be doing in the Sales on Demand live on Friday, except we're going to personalize it for you. We're going to give you your specific actions. 85% of our clients earn their investment back within just a couple weeks, usually 1 to 2 weeks, but up to 4. Anyway, you're going to get that with us. Then you're going to get a second call about 3 weeks later. And this is going to be another 45-minute call with Sydney and I. And we are going to walk you through what your first 90 days of sales is going to look like with us. So we're going to talk about your ongoing sales calls. So what are we doing in the first call is sales in the door fast. No thinking, don't think about it. Just do the actions, do the swipe we give you, just go, 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 go. That is the magic. It's the speed and it's the no thinking, just go. We want to do that because we want you to get your money back right away. Then the second call is good. We've done that. We've earned your trust. You're excited. We need to focus now. Ongoing sales, consistent sales, repeatable, scalable sales. Let's talk about how we're going to build that momentum in the first 90 days. And in that 90 days, we look at your sales goals, we run some numbers, and then we back you into, okay, based on your sales goal and based on the numbers we just populated for you, these are the exact actions and focuses that you need to do that are going to produce that. How do you feel about it? Do you like it? Do you love it? What? We'll talk about it. If you don't, we tweak them. Make sure you feel good about the plan. All you have to do is execute. We plug you into our frameworks, plug you into the word track, but it's a personalized plan for you that is guaranteed to back you into your results if you do them. You're also going to get a weekly personalized check-in with Sydney. So when you join, you'll get a private portal. You'll get our main community with all of your peers, but then you get a private one. And the private one is with you and Sydney. If you have a seller or a setter or business partner, you're allowed to bring one person in the program with you who is contributing to helping your business grow or your sales. And they get all of this as well with us, right? So one person, that's a huge bonus, right? But what we do is you'll get a private portal with Sydney, And this is where you can communicate, get help, get coach, and ask questions outside of the topics we do each week. We have clients who are like, "Anne, I need help with renewals. I need help with client like churn and burn." Those aren't typically questions we would ask on the sales calls because we're focused on sales activities, right? But back end sales is something that we would definitely talk about in that private space with you. So you would have that private access, and also Sydney's over there doing weekly personalized check-ins to keep you kind of moving, keep that momentum, keep you accountable. And she's also doing a quarterly session with you every 90 days. Why? Because we work in 90-day cycles, right? Every 90 days, like whatever you did last quarter is going to show up this quarter. Whatever you do this quarter is going to reflect next quarter. You can always see a progression. So we want to make sure every 90 days you're on track, you feel good about your plan, your goal, your actions align with your goals. We want to reset every 90 days and make sure you're moving toward what you said you wanted to accomplish. So that happens all in that private space with Sydney. So some extra, bonuses and calls there for you. There is a Voxer link. Sydney, can you drop my Voxer link? There's no sales page because we don't do sales pages. It's beautiful. I never have to create a page. All you have to do, if you want to talk about Sales Academy, just see if it's a good step for you. It may or may not be. But if you want to see if it is, Sydney can drop my Voxer link. All you got to do is Voxer me. My phone's right here. And we can voice chat. You can talk about your sale. It's just you and I. Talk about your sales goals. Tell me what you're trying to accomplish. Where do you think you're stuck or having some trouble? And we're literally just going to see if what we do in Sales Academy would help you with that and help you accomplish a goal, or maybe it won't. Either way, you'll leave with clarity, you'll leave with some value. If Sales Academy is good for you, we will walk you through exactly what we would focus on with you and what your path would look like to come and join us. Oh, Sydney, I don't know if that posted properly or something. Like it didn't post a link. I don't think. No. If for those of you watching replay, we're gonna have all these links on the replay page as well. Yeah, that's weird. It just showed a. I know, Sydney, you wanted to add a few things. Well, I think we'll get the Voxer link if you want to
Yes,
share.
grab the, I know there's like a slash link.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can grab it real quick.
Yes. Okay, guys, I just wanted to highlight a couple things that I really want you guys to sit with before you go, because they are the reasons why coaches and sellers join us inside of Sales Academy, instead of just taking these frameworks that we're going to teach you this week and going and trying to implement them on their own. Because I know that's might be a reason why a lot of people join workshops. They're like, oh, I'm going to grab some nuggets and I'm going to run with it. Which, yes, you can try that, but these are some of the reasons why we see people maybe attempting to do that. So first, I wanted to touch on the finances. I know this can feel sticky and uncomfortable. We try to make finances just be a normal thing that we talk about in Sales Academy. We're all about sales. Well, we're all about the numbers, what we're bringing in. So if making more money is a priority for you, and you know that you need sales coaching, you will find a way to make this work. Maybe that's putting the $4.97 a month on a credit card and slowly paying it off. Or maybe that's asking a family member or an investor or your partner for support. But if this was the thing you knew would increase your sales, you would find a way to get creative and make it work. So if it's not a priority, or if you don't believe this is the answer for you, you're going to come up with all those reasons why you can't do it. And this is one of the reasons why we give you guys Anne's Voxer link to kind of talk through some of these thoughts. So
I agree with that. And I just want to add too, like when I was on welfare, single mom, didn't have any money. I was living on $363 a month in food stamps. Like I didn't have dollars, right? Like I had state money. I had no money. And my first coach was $5,000. And I'm like, how am I gonna do that? I don't know how I'm gonna do that. I can't even buy diapers. Like, my dad was buying diapers for me, like helping me. And I got to a point where it took me 5 years though. It took me 5 years, but I finally got to a point where I was like, okay, I gotta stop asking myself if I can afford to do this. Like, I know I can't afford to, but the real question is like, can I afford not to? And I had already spent 5 years trying to figure this out by myself. And obviously I was at an end of that because there was nothing more that I could see or that I knew that I was we only know what we know. You don't know what you don't know, right? And so I got to a point where it was no longer about can I afford it? It's like I can't afford not to. Because if I don't find the money to get help, well, I'm gonna have to stop the business. I'm gonna have to get a job. I'm gonna have to put my kids in daycare and I gotta pay for that. Like, and that was the one thing, just being a foster care kid and being really abused and bounced around. The last thing I wanted to do was put my kids in foster or in daycare and have other people raising my kids. My kids never had that. They were always home with me because I made this work. And so I cashed bottles in, I cashed change in. I asked multiple people in my family, can I borrow a couple hundred? Can I borrow a couple hundred? I took out 2 credit cards that were for people that had bad credit. So it was only like 300 on one, 200 on another. I rounded up. I canceled cable. We actually never got it back. I never got it again. But we canceled cable. I canceled things that we were paying for. And I found a way and I went back to her and I was able to get the investment. And in 30 days, I went from $2,000 for 5 years a month. Could not get over that. Couldn't get beyond 2,000 for 5 years. She took me to my first 10K in 30 days. It changed my life. I've never looked back. It was because I locked in that commitment that I was serious, right? I was going to do this one way or another. So I want you guys, I just want you to, again, Sales Academy is about money. You got to have a good relationship with money because we want you to make a lot of it. And you're not going to make a lot of it if you're scared of it. You're not going to make a lot of it if you have a bad relationship with money. Don't worry, because in Sales Academy, we'll shift everything you think about money. You will raise your prices happily. You'll be paid in full happily. We have a 98% pay in full for the last like 4 years. Almost nobody pays payment plans. Everybody pays because I'm a pay in full girl, right? Like I believe in money and I have a great relationship with money, even considering my past, but I built that. And we help you do that in Sales Academy. That is part of the sales skill, right? Because for you to make a lot of money, you can't be resistant to money. You can't hate money. You can't be mad at it. You can't be like weird about it. You got to love it. You got to believe in it. You got to love it. It's got to fuel you, right? So I just wanted to share that because I want you to kind of know, like, this is how I got here, right? Like, this is why I'm passionate about this because I'm the only person in my family that makes millions of dollars and works for herself or just makes that much, period. In fact, no one in my family even makes 6. My family's on welfare. They're poor. They're negative. They have a really bad mindset, bad relationship with money. They're all entitled. And I've carved out a totally different life for me and my kids. And it's through what we do with you in Sales Academy that is building that foundation. So I just wanted to kind of add that to that. I love what you said there, Sydney.
Yeah, Anne has a great testimony on that. So she should always be the one that talks about this, about that piece. She always interjects because she can really speak to the person who hears me say, "Oh, you'll find a way. Oh, you'll find a way," and they're like, "Okay, like cool." Anyone can say, "Oh, you'll find a way," but you don't understand. I literally do not have the money.
Get it?
So Anne's a really good testimony to that. So number 1 is the finances. Second, I want to highlight the thinking time that you're spending right now and how doing this with us is the guaranteed faster, quicker way to reaching your goals. There is literally no reason why you should be spending hours, weeks, months, years trying to figure out this sales component on your own. So this week we're sharing with you the frameworks, but that's all they are. They're frameworks. They're wonderful. They're beautiful. They're great. They're going to give you aha moments, but they are just frameworks. You then have to take them and plug in your sales goals and your specific business and navigate the conversations and the situations that come up. And that is where our clients get stuck. The nitty gritty day-to-day stuff, the DMs, the conversations, the email follow-up, the things that happen within those frameworks, what to say and how to say it so the lead closes instead of ghosting, right? So just recently we helped our client Krista. She's super high level client. She works with corporate folks. We helped her craft a follow-up email to a lead that she had a sales call with who was super resistant to support, and she ended up closing the deal with the email. She was able to shift their perspective.
And it's painful.
Yeah, and that is the stuff. That is the beauty of support, having somebody there with you through all the random off the wall
Nuances.
scenarios that come up. Yeah. So crafting DM responses, crafting those emails, the in the weeds kind of things. So whether that's on one of our live coaching calls or in the support community that I'm inside of, literally just waiting for you all day to need support, you'll get help there. So those are the things that we get hung up on day to day that keep you from making the sales.
Those
It's not
little
like,
nuances.
yeah,
It's not even the big strategy studies, all those little.
yeah,
And the funny thing is we'll give our clients like one word. I'll say, change this one word and say this
and it
instead.
makes all the
Like it's
difference.
just, and they're like, and I just got painful from doing that. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God. And I'm like, it's just, it's not, I always say, you'll hear me say this a million times. It isn't what you say as much as it is how you say it. It's your delivery and how you say what you say that is going to make the difference in someone either having resistance and pulling back a little bit, or being like, they kind of like retract, or they lean in and they're like, buyer decision ready. It isn't so much what you're saying. Sometimes we can change a couple words and you'd be surprised what that would do miraculously for your business and your sales. And time, I mean, we literally shave 10 plus hours a week off people's schedule immediately almost, because a lot of what you're doing is business stuff, marketing, content. It is big game stuff, right? But it's not the sales stuff. You're actually going to slow down to speed up. And if you want to move at speed, which money loves speed, if you want to move at speed, we have to focus on the sales. And then those say when you're making enough money, that's when you play. I always tell my clients, get to that goal and we can play. You can try the new offer, you can play with the funnel, you can hire someone and see if they work out, and you can afford to lose at every bit of that if you do, right? You can afford for that offer to not sell. You can afford for that launch to not convert. You can afford for that team member to screw up and you have to fire them in the middle of a launch. You can afford to do it because you have money. Your business has money. If you don't have money and you're doing those things, it's risky, right? Because you go in debt. You go in debt trying to do it. So yeah, just wanted to add that too.
Number 3 is, I want to make it very clear, piggybacking off of my second point, is that this training is not all that you need. So these are very wonderful small pieces of the larger puzzle. But let's be honest, we live in an information overload age where you can find iterations. Of course, these are hours perfected over years and years and years and years, so they're the best. But you can find iterations of frameworks anywhere online. But you can't find that real-time feedback and support on the exact words you need to move a lead into a buyer day to day. And that is what our clients need support with the most. It's not like once you learn the frameworks, you learn the frameworks and like that's what they are. But it's how do I put these frameworks that you're going to learn throughout the next couple of days, and the many others that we teach inside of the program into practice in your own sales system day to day. Lastly, is that 90-minute one-on-one session when you first onboard. Like, I feel like people hear it and they're like, oh, cool, like an onboarding call, whatever, no big deal. They're gonna get us plugged into some things. I like wish I could explain. This is not just like a cookie cutter onboarding call. This is
We shouldn't even call it an onboarding call.
I know it's not an onboarding sales session. Okay, guys, it's like not even an onboarding call.
It's a money making session.
This is a deep dive into your sales systems and strategies. We put all 3 of our brains together, mine and yours, into your business, and we can extract the gaps that is probably what's been standing in between you and your goal. So we pinpoint your gaps, we remedy the gaps, we create your first we create your 30-day plan, and then if you upgrade into VIP support, then you'll get a second call where we go through your 90-day plan. But we're going to create a plan to get your investment back and more. But that for the first milestone, the first goal when you join us is how can we take care of your program payment so that everything else just feels
Okay,
like a
free for the
fun
rest of the time.
cherry on top, right? Like obviously the goal is to make way more than 5,000 in your time with us, but if we can just get that weight of, oh my gosh, I just invested big time off your shoulders, everything else
Yeah.
will just feel like, okay,
Right.
now let's go. I made it
Well,
back.
it's also, they're getting that paid, they're getting that back in such a short time of investing it.
Yeah,
Is obviously like, phew, okay, good. And then they have all
right.
that time free. But the other side of this is you're gonna learn and see firsthand how quick you can make money in sales with
Yeah.
what has been in front of you this whole time. How quickly and easily you can do that when you know what you need to do and what to say
Yeah.
versus, I mean, again, anyone that has made money right off with us did not have to change their offer. They did not have to grow their audience. They
No.
didn't have to do any, it was with what they had right here in front. And I'm a magic queen at being like, boom, boom, here we go. Oh, do this,
Yeah.
and say that, go. And it works. And so you're gonna monetize off what you've already got. That's been sitting right in front of you. This been sitting right in front of you. So it looks different for everybody because we run your numbers. We have a calculator that we had designed for us to support my data brain. We plug in some numbers. It populates, because numbers don't lie, tells me exactly what you got to work with and what you don't, what you need, if anything. And then I use my human behavior background and I say, okay, what are the activities that are going to produce the sales to get that result right there? What's the best way? Who are we trying to attract? Okay, if we're trying to attract these people, then we need to do it this way. That's just my magic. I do that in my brain. You don't even have to know about it. I just do it. I'm like, here's what I want you to do. Here's what I want you to say. And then we work closely with you to be like, okay, did that work? Did it not? Okay, cool. Try this instead. Boom, it worked. Okay, great. So now we know, right? To play with your audience. So we personalize what we already know works to work for you because everybody's audience is different. Everyone's numbers. Like I said, we have people that come in and they do 5K within 2 weeks. We have people that have done 42 and 60 something thousand in like a week with us. And I'm like, damn, girl, you just earned, I don't even know what that is, but like 10, 15, 20 times what you just paid in a matter of a week. That's phenomenal. So your speed in the program is going to come with your practice and your skill building and how we build things up, and you just trust in the process and just doing what we ask you to do in a way that feels good for you. But if you can do that, every client that does that, they hit the ground running. They're always like, they just plow by everybody. It's just like, look at you go. So it is a magic little thing telling you the data, the numbers, and the science, and you combine those. It's like rocket fuel under activities.
Yeah, everything Ann just said. So those are the handfuls of reasons why we find people may not jump in. And why you instead should. And of course, you can reach out to Ann with that Voxer link in the chat. She's an open book. Just
Totally.
no
Anything you want to know, anything you
stress.
want to ask,
Yeah.
I'm here
What's
for
on
it.
your mind?
Yeah, I'll be totally
And
honest and
walk through it.
transparent. I mean, and here's the thing, Cindy and I are really big, like we've been through this for a long time, worked with a lot of clients. If we don't think you're going to be successful, or if we think you're missing something that's going to put a kink in the process where we feel like, oh, she's got all these things or she's a fit, but these things right here, not so much. And like, it's not, if there's any sign for me, and I will intuitively feel it because I'm just really good at this, sales is what I do. So I can pin quick. Just the way someone says something to me, I can tell where we're at, right? So if I have any red flag or sign or signal that says this person might not be ready yet, or they're not a good fit yet, I'm going to tell you flat out, because I have no interest in taking anybody's money that is not going to come in, crush it, kill it, earn their money back, have a great time, get the result. I have no interest. It serves us nothing. With all the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of clients that we have worked with, we have learned that over the time. This is why we don't have a sales page. You have to talk to me to get in. You have to, because we have no interest of anyone failing in our program if we can help it. We can't do the work for anybody and we can't make anybody, but that's why we talk to you, because if you don't sound like someone that's gonna committed and is gonna do it, we might say, you know what, we might ask you about it and we'll see what your response is. But we have no interest of just flooding the gates. We have a curated room. These are amazing humans doing big things. And we want to keep that room like that. And if that means losing sales for people that aren't ready, or people that are going to come in and fail and not get the result, it's going to be horrible for everybody, we've learned it's not worth it. So you can trust and know that any conversation we have, it's not a sales conversation. It's can we help you reach your goals or not conversation, and are you ready to do it? Do we feel like you can? And if not, we would never invite you in, and we would explain that to you. We'd have that conversation with you. So I want to say that because I know people can feel in this market, it's scary to get in a conversation because you don't know what the hell's going to happen once you get in there, and nobody wants to feel pressured or put down or bad or wrong. We have a rule in our sales academy: do not ever call anybody's baby ugly. And what we mean by that is whatever anyone is doing, this is their baby. This is their work. This is their baby. Do not go around calling people out. Do not go around telling people they're bad, wrong. Like, just don't call anybody's baby ugly. And all of my clients get a big kick out of that. But I mean that, right? Like, we're not here to do that. We're here to see if we can help you or not. And we, with complete ethics and integrity, will let you know if we just think maybe there's a couple things you could go off and do that will get you at a better place, right? So honest conversation in my Voxer, guys. It's just private between us. Yeah, anything else, Sydney? I think that about sums up, because tomorrow what are we doing tomorrow? We're talking about
We don't even know what we're doing. We're gonna be here. We're gonna
We're
share
gonna be
something
here.
good. We'll be here. Yes, an email will go out today with the replay. If you missed any of the beginning or any of it at all, it will
we're
also have
talking
the
about
details.
activating high conversations tomorrow.
Yes, it will also have the details of tomorrow's session. Yes, we're covering activate high intention conversations, what to say, when to say it, why it works. We're going to show you how to move your buyers through the 5 readiness stages using language that's backed by brain science and actually works in the DM. So we're not getting ghosted. We're not like getting blocked and deleted, right? We're connecting with people who actually want and need support.
And we're not talking to unqualified leads all day long.
Yes.
Right? We're not getting on calls, we're not talking. Tomorrow's probably one of the topics I'm most obsessed about, because it's the actual process that creates the sale. The buyer's list is like the system, it's the structure. We need it. But it's one thing to have it, but now how do we move them, convert them? And tomorrow, that's what we're going to dive into, is now that you're adding people to a buyer's list, what do we do? And also scoop up the people you're talking to right now that are right in front of you. How do we start to talk and get those people to engage? We have so many different things that you could say and do in those conversations to do that. And we'll go through all of that stuff tomorrow to just bring the systems together so you guys can understand the process.
And if you're not getting our emails or anything like that, let us know. We'll make sure you get set up with those.
Yes, for sure. Let us know. So the replay is going to go out a little bit later. Shortly, I think here the team will get the replay out with my Voxer link. The action step for today, just to get those people added to your list. And then a reminder for tomorrow's session. So you get the replay. We did create a replay page, so the team will send that out. That way you guys can go back through if you need to listen to anything again. Those will be up there. And then reminders for tomorrow's call. If you guys, anyone tune in, if you guys have like a seller or setter or business partner or someone that's involved in your business, get them on the call with you. Have them come and like listen and tune in, because they're going to learn a lot. A lot of what we're doing is sales psychology right now, because we're really shifting everything you think about sales and selling in today's market, right? We're already doing the work. So every day that you're here, you're improving. You're mentally improving and shifting your sales beliefs, like just being here. So if there's anyone important that should be here, bring them. And we will see you guys. Thank you so much for just giving me some of your time. We'll see you guys all tomorrow, same time, same place. You're welcome. Bye, everybody.